Phase Hero episode number 90 starts right now. BD here, joined on this very slow news day by Jenna Anderson.
Hey everybody, what a day. Oh my gosh, so happy to be here.
We've got Jamie Jirac.
Hello, I'm ready to pitch. What's our special 100th episode gonna be?
And we started this episode not sure if we'd be able to hear Aaron or not, but Aaron is here visually. Aaron, can we hear you?
Can you hear me, BD?
Yes.
Boom!
Yay!
We have liftoff with Aaron Perrine.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. It's a slow news day. I think we're going to spend 15 minutes talking about the Smashing Machine to match the amount of time old DJ got the applause for. No, we are going to talk about Smashing Machine. We are going to talk about Marvel Zombies. We are going to talk about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2. At the end of it, for anybody who wants to hear Jamie and Aaron's thoughts on the most recent Peacemaker episode. But I think we have some news to start the show. And it's not just that there's still merch available on phasehero.com. It's not just that there's, I don't know, I'm trying to make jokes. The fact is, James Gunn has finally revealed that the Superman quote-unquote sequel that he is working on is Man of Tomorrow. Jenna, do your thing.
I ran around my room screaming when this text first came through. I legitimately was like a dog with zoomies. I was so happy. It is going to be released on July 9th, 2027, exactly 2 years to the day of when Superman was released. James and company had kind of hinted that they would start production on it sooner or later, but like that is very soon. Like it's crazy. We'll talk about it with other movies, but like this will maybe be like one of the next movies to start production. What a world to be living in. It also was announced with 3 original pieces of comic art by Jim Lee, Jorge Jimenez, and Mitch Gerads. Those are posted all over DC's official socials and on James's like socials, and they show Superman and they show Lex Luthor in his war suit. I'm so excited. I need someone else to talk because I'm just like overwhelmed.
That's the Lex I know, baby. I can't wait to see that. Sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
No, like, I wake up 20 minutes before we do this podcast. So like I opened my phone and the first thing, like I just happened to see a post from Jenna, which was like about the news, but not what the news was. So like, what's the news? And I'm like, oh, it's such good news. Like I wasn't expecting it to be like the news. Like that was some peak news, and I want to see Nicholas Hoult. I'm so ready. I 2 years is good. I think that's a good time to get us significantly like, all right, let's go, without it being way too long. A much smaller gap in the Peacemaker seasons. So I'm really hyped. Announcing things with art like that is really dope. Like it got me more excited than I would have been by just like, a weird like poster that was slapped together or something,
2 things, because Jamie's tweet, the tweet of mine that Jamie's referring to is I grabbed a second cup of coffee like 20 minutes before that news dropped, thinking like, I don't know, I feel like I need this today. I feel like I need to be extremely caffeinated, and the universe provided. I've also seen people point out we get 3 straight summers of Superman family movies because we get Supergirl next summer and then we get this in 2027. Like this is such a smart way to approach it. Like we get to have a little bit of time in between the installments, but we still get to see this universe and like that specific corner of the franchise like really get followed up on year after year.
Aaron, how are you feeling about this?
It was really interesting because I wasn't completely in like our planning for this because of all the tech difficulties, but I was like, we had a rough rundown of what it was, and then there's certain moments where me and Jenna like to joke, you just throw the pizza up onto the roof, and that plan is no longer the plan anymore. I was also in the other room with Eric Voss when someone turned the laptop around and told him, yo, what? And so that was delightful as well. It's really wild. Momentum building, momentum continuing, trending upwards for your fledgling DC universe for sure.
We're going to get 2 or 3 or maybe 4 appearances by Superman before a Shang-Chi sequel. Maybe more.
Are you going to tell your story, BD? I've been waiting for you to tell the story.
Oh my goodness. So I was this morning recording the Peacemaker podcast interview for episode 4 with Frank Grillo out here in Hollywood. and we were recording the episode, and right about 9:45 a.m., we are wrapping up the interview. And at the end of each interview is when I tend to throw those questions like, hey, do you know what your next appearance is? Do you know your next project? Have you filmed anything else? The questions that some people will answer and can speak and say interesting things on, and sometimes they genuinely don't know, or sometimes, they're like, oh, I can't say that. So Frank tells me, I know what my next project is. You'll see this full interview when the clip releases on the morning after pod. This will be following episode 4 of Peacemaker. And I said, have you filmed it yet? He said, no, I haven't filmed it yet, but I know what it is. James, tell me what it is. At that time, right then, Jenna texted me the news. It dropped at 9:45 a.m. My phone was in Do Not Disturb.
BD, this is why Jenna is the only person in my life who I do not have on Do Not Disturb. She's the only person who can break through.
All of y'all bypass my Do Not Disturb. Maybe you need to start setting that up for us.
So as soon as I took my phone out of Do Not Disturb, I saw this, and I know that this is the movie that Frank was talking about, but I didn't get to have that moment in the podcast where we talk and say, look, he was shocked James announced it. Like he was genuinely like, whoa, he didn't know the announcement was coming. But we just didn't have that on the podcast. And I am going to lose sleep over not having that moment, because what are the chances I'd be with Frank while that gets announced, while we're literally talking about it, just not saying it because he doesn't, like, it's not out there yet, so he can't. But then it actually was. And Jenna tried. I said, Jenna, anytime now, hit that emergency bypass, notify anyway.
Yeah.
Whew.
I've got one more update. Isabel Merced on her story said, see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Pierre also commented on James's post, and James responded with an emoji. So John Stewart?
Possibly.
I saw James commenting on David Cornsweet and Nicholas Holt's posts that said, like, see you soon, see you in not that long, like basically implying they're going to start production very soon. So the quote unquote sequel to Superman, which is like a sequel, not a sequel, this feels like an outright sequel. I mean, I don't know. Jenna's got thoughts on that. Man of Tomorrow.
I mean, the Man of Tomorrow subtitle has its own like specific connotation with Superman, but I think that using it as this movie, and it also seems like it's not Superman : Man of Tomorrow. Like it seems like it might just be Man of Tomorrow, even though I'm sure everyone's going to just roll up to the theater and say 2 tickets for Superman anyway. But I think picking this title makes it more vague what else this movie has in store. Of like, is Kara in this movie? Is the Justice League getting formed in this movie? Like, what else is going on in this movie? We won't know until they decide to tell us. And I think that that's a brilliant way to kind of go about it.
Well, Clark can't be a news anchor and not a newspaper reporter anymore in this movie?
The planet will still be the planet.
I feel like there's no way this movie's not going to be called Superman something.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way. Like Ryan Johnson can't even escape Knives Out, and that's wasn't even an existing IP before he created it. Like people are marketing, they're gonna want those butts and seats. It's just like how Birds of Prey, they changed the title while it was in theaters so that people would see the words Harley Quinn and be like, oh, what's this? Let me walk my popcorn this way. So we'll see.
Like imagine
I will also say with Superman, so much of the marketing was just the symbol. Like it never, like so many TV spots and trailers and stuff just showed the symbol and didn't say the word Superman. So if it's even just the Superman symbol on screen with Man of Tomorrow written out, like I think that's probably a way to have your cake and eat it too.
Imagine if Avengers Infinity War had just been called Infinity War, though. It was a Thanos movie. It could have been. But I think Superman Man of Tomorrow has to be the title here. All right. Anything else on Man of Tomorrow we want to discuss before switching to a few other major DC updates?
Where's Batman? Where's Batman?
We're going to talk about that.
The Batman 2, we have an update on. The DCU Batman, we still don't know. But Colin Farrell read the script for the Batman Part 2, said it's extraordinary. Also said he has a small role in it. And then Deadline reported that filming will begin in April of 2026. So there will be the Batman Part 2 and Man of Tomorrow in production at the same time, and both releasing in 2027.
What a world. I also love that we're just on Colin Farrell script watch. Like I've never even seen a thing. Like we talked about it last week and then we're talking about it here, like literally reporting on whether or not someone's read it. Even Jeffrey Wright had a picture on his Instagram of like the very locked diary that the script was in. Like I love that we're getting to the point of this movie almost being a reality because everyone has been desperately waiting for it.
Yeah. Well,
You know what's really crazy? I accidentally opened Twitter yesterday because I don't use it anymore, but I can't delete it because sometimes I need it for one of my freelance jobs. And I saw like something about the Batman 2, and I saw somebody comment, and I read it because I thought it was Threads. That's why I opened the post. Mistake! Don't confuse the two. They're very different. And I saw somebody say, "Wait, why are they making a Batman 2? I thought that they were rebooting DC." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this person doesn't know that even the first Batman wasn't a part of the DC EU." I'm like, how do we explain it to people? How do people still not know? I don't know how to make it more clear. I feel like they've been so clear.
To the people who pay attention and live in the bubble, most people don't. I'm telling y'all, you give moviegoers too much credit. They might not be stupid people. They might be stupid, but they also might just not be paying attention online to all the things that we talk about and are so obvious to us.
I still will be adamant that when we get to the point of having two Batmen around the same time of each other, they will look and their worlds will look so fundamentally different that people will be able to tell the difference and they'll be able to understand the context in which the story is being told. I'll also always be adamant that Brave and the Bold will be a Damian Wayne story that Batman happens to be in and not necessarily like a solo Batman movie, but we'll see.
I'm just think it's going to be like people who like to complain about this stuff already. They want going to the movies to be the easiest thing ever. Hell, I think they wish James Gunn would pick them up at their front door and drive them to the movie. Like that's what people expect now when they pay $20 for a movie ticket. But I just think people are going to be like, wait, there's two Batmans. Like I can't keep up with that. Like what? So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it plays out.
There were people literally asking James on Threads to go back and edit Peacemaker season 1 and the Suicide Squad to fit into what has been changed for the new universe. And he's like, no, I'm not about to do that. So you're not wrong. But I also think like we're still so far away from the Batman question of it all really fully being answered.
I want to shout out James for really killed me with one of his responses where with the Peacemaker retcon and like people were like, "You've erased the DCU," and he's like, "DCU," and he's like, "It's not real. I can't erase the whole movie. It's still a movie." Like that's the best way to approach it. It's like those things still exist. They're still there. I think I just thought that was so funny. It's not real.
That my tinfoil hat is running out of tightness because the Clayface set photos are further and further and further solidifying and confirming that these are different universes with the Gotham logos.
You would be shocked at the amount of detective work people are trying to do from these logos. They're finding Easter eggs for things that they think are coming down the line, even though they're literally just Easter eggs. It's like the prop person probably just Googled band names in the DC universe and puts them on a poster, and people are taking that as confirmation that like certain characters or certain things are on the way. The amount of just like discussion about the police logos and all of just the in-universe stuff and whether or not it's similar to the Batman, like it's such an interesting conversation to be having, but I feel like they very clearly said it's DCU. It is not the Reeves verse, but people are still going to believe whatever they want to believe.
So Jenna, how are you feeling about everything you're seeing about DC's The Substance?
I think it looks great. Again, we won't show the set photos on here, but I think Tom Reese Harry is like the photos of him look very cool and just kind of the vibe of the world. Again, they're shooting in the same place that they did shoot the Batman, so that's also helping the merger theory people. But I think that the way that this movie is ultimately going to look and feel is going to be so distinct and so its own thing, and I'm very excited to see that of like our biggest kind of entry point for Gotham.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these photos, and I hope that continues because I'm really hyped for Clayface. And I'm just gonna try to ride that ignorance train as long as I can.
I'm not seeking these things out, but they're all ending up in my feed, and I mean, I look at them and I'll say I'm kind of enjoying how these between Spider-Man and Clayface practical set photos are ending up in my feed and getting me excited. It's been pretty fun to see these things. I don't think there's any spoilers to take away. Other than, yes, here's a character with a mangled up face that we all kind of expected anyway. And Spider-Man is going to swing. Here's what it looked like in the Spider-Man stuff is going to be really excited in particular. But I think the Gotham Easter eggs are fun. Like there's one that shows the Gotham City map, and literally it looks like a GTA 3 map, like literally Liberty City. But it's got Wayne Manor and stuff on there, but I don't even think those are spoilers. We've seen Daily Bugle logos in Venom set photos that actually have no tie to the fact that it's the same logo from Toby's universe. So I always just see that. Cool. I like it. It's something to talk about, something to think about, and then move on.
Wasn't even like in Peacemaker season 1 we see a Wayne Industries logo, and wasn't it closer to Nolan's than
Yeah, because
Affleck?
the DCEU logo was very similar to Nolan's logo, and then that just kind of got carried over into BVS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Batman and Wayne, Alan Richardson, who's a lot of people's fan cast, I'd like to see him as Batman. Says he's not playing Batman. He's told Variety, words have been exchanged about Batman, but I strongly don't think Batman is in my future. I do think there is something in my future with DC, and I would like that to remain true.
The funniest option would be bringing him back as Aquaman, because real ones know he was Aquaman on Smallville, and completely different aesthetic, completely different context to have Aquaman in, but he did a great job, especially given the tone of that show. The funniest thing would be to just bring him back as Aquaman.
Only ever seen Alan in Fast X. So I'm like, no, I don't get the fan cast because I've never seen Reacher. So I'm just like, the guy from Fast X, you want to be Batman? But like, good for him.
And Blue Mountain State.
Right, yes. Again, I've only seen him in Fast X.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, he could be lying. If this was a Marvel actor, we'd all be like, you're full of shit.
I don't think he has a reason to lie in the context of the rest of the quote that he said. I don't know. I think he's kind of letting people down gently, because it also has to be weird as an actor to have people be like, you're going to be Batman. And he's like, do I even want to be? Is that even like really a possibility for me? Like, it has to be weird to be bombarded with that. So I think the way he addressed it probably is just a very gentle no.
And this would be his third DC Universe role, right?
Yes.
That would be. Has anybody done? Well, I guess Sean Gunn has done that, and more already.
A couple people have done that, yeah.
Yeah. James Gunn confirmed Chris Pratt also not playing Batman.
Can you
but
imagine?
He told Scorpion Golden that he's not going to be Batman, but he could be something else, quite likely. Is what I take away from this quote. The exact quote is, as Batman, no. As something else, yes. I think a lot of people just obviously go to Booster Gold, but that just seems too obvious to me.
Who was asking if Chris Pratt was going to be Batman? Like, I you know what I mean? Like, is that something people want or visualize?
No.
I remember people were asking if Chris Pratt was voicing Crypto. So it's just like, it's just whatever's closest on the periphery, people just start like speculating about. I feel like it's either going to be he's voicing some character that we wouldn't even think of yet, of like some CGI character. I think that would be really fun. Or it's a hero that like is on nobody's minds right now. Like, I've seen like people say like Adam Strange, or just someone else that isn't the obvious choices of like Booster Gold or Batman or anything like that.
We'll see.
I think all the Guardians are going to play some manner of CGI something before they're ever in a costume as a legitimate, like, big main piece of any of this, to be sure.
Yeah. Rooker did first before becoming. Well, I guess he was Savant in the Suicide Squad for like a minute, but
we physically saw Bradley Cooper, so I guess that technically is an outlier.
Yeah, but we didn't physically see him in Guardians, so it's kind of like a swap.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
He's Tobias.
Palm Clementieff was one of the robots.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rooker was one of the robots. Who else? Sean Gunn has been Weasel. I think that's all for now, but it's just a matter of time until we see these people jump, I think, because James likes working with people he likes working with. Marvel dropped the Marvel Zombies trailer. This thing's awesome. We're switching gears. Marvel Cinematic Universe time. Marvel dropped that Marvel Zombies trailer. This releases later this month. I don't know if this is is this an all at once?
Yeah,
it sounded like it based on the trailer announcement. Yeah.
On IMDb, it's all listed as the same date. IMDb is not always accurate, but that is where my go-to, and I think it all said September 24th.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought that Zombies trailer was awesome. Like, it is hard rock metal. Like, it is violent, hardcore. I was into it. I was more excited for Marvel Zombies after seeing this trailer.
Yeah, the vibe of the trailer was not at all what I was expecting. Like the needle drop, the Spider-Man beheading a bunch of zombies, like the language. Definitely, it is conveying the tone of the project in a way that like you kind of need, especially given how long ago it was announced. But it definitely was more that tone than I would have expected.
I mean, the comic is gruesome.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
I turned into like a 13-year-old boy drinking like Code Red and eating Doritos, and I ran in and it's like, Tony, did you see it? Did you see Spider-Man decapitate all those zombies? Like, I just like really got me going, man. It was a good trailer.
the cast here, and I know Jamie's going to pop for this first name. Elizabeth Olsen, top build. Paul
Top
Rudd,
build,
Florence
baby.
Pugh. What?
I was just excited. Keep going.
Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Florence Pugh, David Arbor, Tessa Thompson, Simu Liu, Awkwafina, Haley Steinfeld, Wyatt Russell, Randall Park, Amon Villani, Dominique Thorne. To me, this is a great way to use the actors you have available to you, probably because they're contractually available to you, I would assume. Maybe that's a factor. I'm sure there's also story reasons. But this story of Marvel Zombies seems to be the Avengers are dead, they're zombies. Now we have to save the world. This is a lot of the newer characters who are available, who have been introduced in the multiverse saga. Against the dead Avengers, who we don't really need their voices anymore. We just have basically their skeletons walking around. To me, it's a fun concept. I'm very excited for this show. And it's gonna like, is this gonna be some serious cinema? I don't expect that. It could end up having some big emotional core to it, but the trailer is marketing it as this bloody romp, and I'm hyped for it. But if looking at this list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 people of the, I think 12 or 13 on here are multiverse saga introductions. And then Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Tessa Thompson, Randall Park. So 4 of them are previously introduced.
This feels like the Avengers movie I've wanted this entire saga, basically, of like just getting to actually see these people interact with each other for more than like an episode of What If where they're in a completely different sort of context. I feel like this is going to be the kind of like new Avengers movie we would have gotten in that context. I'm just excited to see Kamala in a show that has this tone, because like that,
Right.
she in particular, I'm very curious about.
Blade Moon Knight
Mm-hmm.
and Mahershala. Is that Mahershala doing the
Not
voice?
Mahershala, I don't think.
No.
His name wasn't on there.
We're never getting him. It's never happening.
Well, it looks like him though, doesn't it? Kind of. Is it modeled?
Let me look it up right now. It is Todd Williams voicing him.
The design seems to be modeled after Mahershala, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just. But
I think it is.
Blade Moon Knight, that's pretty cool. I thought Marvel Zombies looks awesome. September 24th. For me, I'm hyped for that. I'm hoping to get screeners or interviews or something. Nothing on the books yet, but hopefully we'll have some of that on Face Hero. Channing Tatum talked about Avengers Doomsday, and maybe this is one of those said more than he was supposed to say things, but I like it when Marvel actors actually give us crumbs, and that's what we got here. He's obviously back as Gambit, and he said to Variety, "I'm not going to go full Cajun. The Russo brothers, want things to be funny, but they don't want to go full Deadpool. They want to keep the drama and keep it tight. When Gambit gets serious, when he drops the Mardi Gras mask, things do matter." So thoughts on Channing Tatum's Gambit? Not about to make a name for himself.
This was my first question when we saw that. Sorry to bring up the chairs, but when we saw his chair, I was like, is he going to do that accent? And I'm like, that was really funny. I loved it. No notes for Deadpool, but like, it's probably not the same version. So it's okay that it's going to be more toned down. I'm relieved. I just don't think that would fit into the tone of whatever they're doing.
And we've seen Elizabeth Olsen's accent change already, so it's not like it's the end of the world. I'm sure there'll be something there.
I think it'll feel kind of natural, because you can't go from the way that it was in Deadpool and Wolverine of like, are the minions your dialect coach, to him just like not having the Cajun accent at all. Like, I think there's a happy medium. I'm sure they're going to land on that. I feel like X-Men 97 is kind of a good template of like how to do it, but make his dialogue still legible. Because I feel like given the context in which he's in this movie, it makes sense that we can actually understand what he has to say. He also had another quote in the interview that's really interesting of how he injured himself while filming a fight scene in the movie. And so, and he was like, I have to sit out on a fight scene that involves Doom, but my stunt double is going to cover for me. And then they have like close-ups of my face and stuff. So that's interesting. Again, on your topic of like people saying more than they probably should, we at least know that Gambit is fighting Doom at some point.
Wild.
That's like, that is one of those things where it's like, maybe you shouldn't have said that, but it is also like everybody's going to fight Doom at some point, right? Like kind of expect that in this movie, but cool to hear it. And it sounds like it's a pretty involved sequence if he was unable to do it and they had to get his stuntman really, really involved. Simu Liu also talked about Avengers Doomsday, and he said, what did he say? The River asked him about it, and he said the simple. I wish I knew the question, the context of this quote. I guess it was something about the experience of working on Doomsday. But he said the simple answer is Robert Downey Jr. He really inspires me. He's an integral part of Marvel's success and has been in so many films over the years, yet he still takes the time to meet and connect with so many people. He's such a kind, generous, inspiring person. But then what did he say? There was a quote of him talking about how good Downey is. That wasn't the quote I was looking for. He's played such a diverse range of roles. I think everyone will be blown away by the way he tackles this new character in this film. So Simu Liu trying to put Downey's Doom over. I think that's pretty cool. And Shang-Chi was released 4 years ago today, September 3rd, 2021.
Yeah, when you told me you wanted to talk about Shang-Chi today, I assumed it was just that. I assumed it was just going to be you getting on your soapbox being like, why have we not really seen him anywhere yet? But I had not heard those quotes. They're really interesting in the context of Doomsday. But yeah, it's wild. 4 years ago.
It's a long time.
It's really crazy. Sorry, I gotta sit with it. For a minute.
Yeah.
Imagine telling us 4 years ago that Destin would be doing Spider-Man. Like, that would be wild.
But not quite as well as, but we'll still have not gotten the Shang-Chi too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, how you feeling about that?
I mean, it's easy stuff to say on the internet. God bless. Especially a day where they just like, hey, here's more Superman. It's fine. Whatever. No one really cares what I have to say about this anyway, so it's good.
Not true.
That is not
so
true.
False.
Oh,
That
please.
is not true.
Get out of here. Let's go to the next topic.
Well, the Smashing Machine played at Venice, and not only has old Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson lost a lot of weight, it seems like, which seems to be following the footsteps of Dave Bautista, who has shed a lot of his bodybuilder physique, which is part of the WWE requirement, looking like a human action figure on a weekly basis to look like to be a wrestler. Not only has DJ slimmed down quite a bit for this role as Mark Kerr in the Smashing Machine, or at least after the role, but the movie got a 15-minute standing ovation. Standing ovations after a movie feels so weird to me as somebody who's never been in a room for one. Like doing one, like quick, like, wow, good job, everybody. 15 minutes feels weird, but obviously the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think it's awesome to hear that happened. I think as a fan of The Rock, I think Black Adam was a tough go for him. I think WWE, some of his moves there, which are his choice, his moves, have sort of pissed off a lot of the fan base. And he did Smashing Machine, I think, as like a, hey, I need to do something to prove my talent, to prove I can do this and make a good choice here. And he bet on himself in the acting talent. It sounds, based on the reviews, like it paid off. And then a 15-minute standing ovation after the screening. I guess everybody in the room would agree with that, at least, But Jamie, I feel like is going to have.
I have a mini rant before Jamie goes on like a full rant
Oh,
about
boy.
this. I do find all of these like the festival things. It's like I take this with a grain of salt. It's also just the film festival culture at places like these is always just weird. Like, lest we forget the "Don't worry, darling" Spitgate like incident. I also saw someone say that there should be an episode of The Studio that is set during the entirety of like a 22-minute standing ovation at a film festival, and I'm like, now I want to see that because it is almost getting to a point where it is like a full length of television could happen while people are applauding. Jamie, go ahead.
These ovations mean nothing. Like, the 15-minute standing ovation does not mean the movie's good. I do believe The Rock's gonna crush it in this movie. I do. Having seen the trailer, and he has a lot of rough things under his belt, but I do think that he has shown that he can act. I think he's great in Pain and Gain. He's not it's not like there's no proof that he can do something good. But a 15-minute standing ovation is meaningless. But also, I the thought of it makes me want to die. I cannot imagine 15 minutes of clapping is a lot longer than you think it is. Really just stand up in your living room and start clapping and time it. It's gonna feel like a million years. But I am happy for him. I think I saw a video of him getting emotional. I have no doubt he's gonna be great in this movie, but I wouldn't be 15 minutes. I think someone in the comments pointed out that Joker 2 got a 12-minute-er. So something to keep in mind. But the whole, I don't remember clocking ovations as being a thing before a couple of years ago. I've been following this type of news since I was a kid, and I do not remember this being headlines, and I hate it. I think it's really stupid. But
I think to your point, like having gone to a lot of concerts, like that moment in between when the band leaves the stage and when they come back for an encore and you're supposed to just gratuitously like clap and chant encore, that feels like an eternity sometimes. So it's like, yeah, I cannot imagine 15
And it's
minutes
probably
of
3
clapping.
minutes tops.
Yes,
I can't
exactly.
like at tops.
Yeah.
BD, you went to school in SEC, right?
Yep.
Carolina, did y'all stand like until the team scored or whatever during basketball or whatever? That's what I'm thinking about. How long it would be sometimes. We'd be standing for 18, 20 minutes like, bro, get a bucket so we can sit down. I need to sit down. I'm dying over here.
We would stay at the student section would stay at its feet the whole game. The rest of the arena would usually stay until that first bucket.
There we go. We're all just standing like this.
There was one time South Carolina played Georgia, and I think they literally scored 2 points in the first half. That was a long game. That was a long one. That was a lot of people on their feet for too long. And
Can
at that point,
Funko Pop? Can we
What?
put Funko Pop Portrait's comment on screen? Because I think that is very accurate. He says, anyone who's had 15 minutes left in a workday knows how long 15 minutes can be.
That's valid. That is valid right there. Oh, man. So, yeah. So, Smash Machine, though, I mean, that's what I'm excited for. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a fan of The Rock. He's also somebody who's only ever been kind and helpful and supportive to me. And so that has earned my respect and gratitude, and I will always be a supporter of nobody can make me hate DJ, no matter what Twitter tries to say or do about him. But I'm excited to see Smash Machine, and I do believe he's going to do a great job. I just had to bring up this 15-minute standing ovation that moved the man to tears because I just think ovations, this whole thing is so odd. I think those, like, if
I'd also cry because I'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, did you guys watch
a lot of weight for this too, right? Like that's what everybody else is talking about. Like he's like way less big.
Everything I've seen from the Smash Machine, he looks pretty massive in the movie, but in the photos at Venice, he looks like he slimmed down quite a bit. So I don't know if it's related to the movie or not, but he definitely has trimmed down a bit and is looking more like The Rock of 1998 than the Dwayne Johnson of recent years, who's just massive. But yeah, did you guys watch the trailer for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple? Just dropped this morning.
I haven't seen the last movie.
I still haven't seen any of them, so I do not participate in this conversation.
Oh wow, Jamie, I feel like 28
Isn't it
years
Nia
later.
DaCosta?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I will catch up so that I can see Nia DaCosta's next project. Like that's my plan. Mm-hmm.
So the Bone Temple dropped its trailer today. It is directed by Nia DaCosta. It follows up on Ralph Fiennes' character from 28 Years Later. And it's just, I don't even really know what the movie's about from the trailer yet, but it's very clear that this franchise knows how to cut a trailer. The 28 Years Later trailer was a phenomenal trailer, and I think this trailer today is so weird and so good, and the way it uses a speech voiceover is so effective. I'm very excited for Bone Temple, and then obviously where it goes with that inevitable third movie that I think Danny Boyle is going to return to direct. That he said on an interview on the channel, it's basically dependent on the success of these movies, and the first one was pretty successful earlier this year, and 28 Years Later, Bone Temple is hitting in January of 26, so I'm excited for that movie.
I do want to say I think the title goes hard.
Yeah,
I think that's a good title.
Yeah.
It does sound like a Metalocalypse record, like for the record.
Yeah.
So I think that is everything we've got today up until Peacemaker episode 2 discussion with Jamie and Aaron here. Not the Superman news this morning was the big news that we were very excited to get on here and talk about. I think it's pretty cool that Channing and Simu are talking a little bit about Avengers Doomsday and finally hearing a little bit about that movie. I've seen the fake poster at a Destination D23. The Russo brothers sent a video with Paul Rudd from the set. That was real. The poster that's going viral is not. That is some sort of fan-made thing that I beg.
There was like someone had fake audio. They just had like, here's a black screen and like all of these little clips that they cut together and might have been AI generated. I don't know. I was like, they're not actually screening footage at this thing. Like it was very clear it was just the Russos and Paul Rudd pretending to photobomb them.
So wait, that was not what did I get got? Did the Russo?
The Russo thing was real. People were trying to, before that became official, they were like, guys, here's the audio of the trailer. Like Mark Ruffalo recorded it in his pocket kind of thing. And it was an entire fake trailer that they were trying to pass off as real.
Well,
get a life. Go watch a movie. You know what I mean? Like educate yourself, engage in some art. Please, please.
Yeah. So that's the latest. That's the Marvel DC. That's the movie news. The Long Walk is getting rave reviews to the point that I might go see it, but despite how heavy of a movie it looks.
You gonna find like a treadmill screening because they're doing the ones where you have to walk the entire time.
No, really? That's
They
so
are.
funny.
They're like outfitting a movie theater with treadmills, and you have to like keep a certain pace the entire movie, or you get escorted out and you cannot finish the movie.
That's
Are
what a
we-
nightmare.
Are you familiar with the concept, the story of the Long Walk in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're basically making you live that out. If you stop, you die, aka you get escorted out of the theater. They don't actually kill you. But my God, that clip from that movie where that kid gets shot in the face, like that made me go, I don't know if I can handle this movie. Like watching a bunch of teenage kids like get killed sounds awful. Especially in today's world, like that's not the sort of escapism I want at the movies.
But also, Francis Lawrence is directing it, and he directed a lot of Hunger Games, including the one that is currently filming. So if there's anyone who can thread the needle of that kind of plot line, it is him.
Oof.
When I found out he directed this, I left. I just think it's really fun. Like, what do you got against teenagers, man? Why do you want them all to die? I'm seeing it on the 9th because that hashtag show is hosting a screening, and I'm really excited about it because I think like everything I've heard about it looks great. I got the chance to interview some of the folks for it for Mama's Geeky. Very like that was like a last minute interview, which was like that really gets your adrenaline pumping when you're not expecting to interview somebody. And so I'm really hyped for this one, and I think everything I've heard has been really positive.
Yeah, I like this comment here, Jamie. I think you got a channel name here. Jamie, go watch a movie.
But mine is really aggressive.
Yeah,
like,
yours is
Jen
a go touch grass kind of thing.
Yeah. Jen is like, trying to educate the world, and I'm just like, trying to like
go touch
not
grass.
Want to die. Like,
yeah. So I think now we've definitely covered.
I will also say one other piece of news that is funny. I feel bad for Sophie Turner and the Tomb Raider TV show because that announcement dropped while everyone was losing their minds about Superman. So like no one has talked about it, and I feel bad, but I'm excited to see her as Lara Croft. I think that's a really cool
I
casting.
missed that news.
I'm sure Brandon Moore is excited about that.
Yeah, is it live action?
Yes.
Dope. Okay.
It's good casting. Sansa Stark is Lara Croft. There we go. This is the first I've heard of it too. Thank you, Jenna. All right, we're opening it up now. Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2, spoiler warning. If you want to hear more about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2, Jenna and I do the intro breakdowns on the Morning After Pod, which then are followed by a long-form interview with a cast member. The Season 2, Episode 2 guest is Sol Rodriguez, Sasha Bordeaux. She was amazing as a guest. She was so sweet. And there's some really cool Sasha stuff coming up, which we might have some social clips already ready for, just for post that episode. But we want to make sure everybody gets their voice out there for this. And Aaron, Jamie, what did you guys think of Season 2, Episode 2 of Peacemaker?
Oh, I thought it was great. It's funny because I'm like, oh God, that was a week ago. Like I have to start remembering that I have to keep thinking about it because I just counted. I've watched 19 movies since then. So I'm like, I gotta like really rewind my brain. But so good. I one of my favorite like tropes in superhero comic book stuff is when they just like party together. Like that's why like I love Age of Ultron so much, and I just love to watch them have a good time, and I really enjoyed that about this episode. The beginning was brutal but funny, like when the dead body kept rolling out of the thing. That was really getting me. Oh, also Eagly, oh, killing it. I know that James Gunn said that Crypto would beat Eagly in a fight, but after that I was like, but he would give him a run for his money. He would. And I'm obsessed with bird blindness. I think that's the funniest joke I've heard in a long time. It's so stupid, but God, it was making me laugh. I love Tim Meadows. I had a great time. I'm just loving this weekly journey.
The fact that they fleshed out the bird blindness joke with Steve, with John Economos poking holes in it and asking questions, and then he has an answer to everything, and he's like, hummingbird, small bird, fast wings. I know what it is because I read about it. I was like, that was, yeah. Aaron, what'd you think?
I mean, Tim Meadows is a treasure. Like when the first trailer for this dropped, I remember going, wait, really? Because I mean, I haven't seen him in anything in a while. The duck comment got me. I've just been enjoying the Eagly thing is nuts. That was really crazy. We want to talk about some Metalocalypse stuff, Jenna. like some real Adult Swim at 12:30 a.m. stuff. That was in that ballpark as well. It's just I'm still so interesting because I'm like, what is going on? Other than like me and Jamie both having the same sort of Weekend and Bernie's laughing fit over how funny it is to do all of this. I'm like, what is happening with this season? I'm so confused. It has not gone in any of the directions that I thought before this season started that we would be headed on. And it's nice 2 episodes in to still be kind of being led along by your nostrils. You know what I mean?
Is Adrian Chase not just like the most pure friend anybody could have? Like also with a dark side, but like as a friend.
He's a psychopath. He's a you know, the line where it's like, yeah, sex is gross, but it's a way for us for friends to bond. She's like, no, that's not what sex is. That line really got me good. He's who you call when you got a drop of a body, obviously, you know, because he thinks it's fun. What a freak.
He'll dance
I'm so
through
scared.
It.
I'm so scared something bad's gonna happen to the boy. I'm so terrified. I'm so terrified. He's the only one who knows where the bodies are buried. Literally, I am terrified.
Tony watching it, Tony's like worried for Eagly. Tony turned to me and he was like, you don't think James Gunn would kill Eagly, do you? And I was like, I don't think so. And he goes, I don't know. He killed a lot of animals in Guardians 3. I was like, what? You're right about that. But I also, one thing I don't know if this is considered a spoiler because I have not seen any episode beyond this, but I do know that what Michael Rooker's character is. And so I know that Eagly will have some challenges, but I don't think James Gunn would kill Eagly. But poor Tony, he was really worried about Eagly.
For me, the interesting part about this whole season so far, and this gets emphasized in episode 2, is the Peacemaker Harcourt relationship. We've kind of touched on this. So at this point, you know, Chris is clearly reaching out and she shuts him down. But who all in favor of Harcourt and Peacemaker? And in the comments, let's hear it too. What do you guys think? Should they? Shouldn't they?
I wouldn't say I'm like hardcore shipping it, but I wouldn't be mad about it. You know, like one of those. Like I'm not an anti. I think that they both need extensive therapy before they can enter a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But you know, it seems like they did hook up once, right? So you know,
Seems that way.
I think it's going to get complicated because I think Chris is going to go start talking to other Harcourt, and that's not good. So, but I think my prediction is that he's going to realize that this other Harcourt isn't his Harcourt. And like, it's not going to work the same for him because she's so different. That's my prediction in terms of romance.
Yeah. Dancing Dog 60 says, keep up the fantastic work, everyone. Everyone hit the like for these cool people. Also, would you all love a door to the multiverse in your closet? Thank you for the 5, Dancing Dog 60. Personally, I know I'd end up doing, I wouldn't not be able to go live in some happily ever after world. Like, I just can't imagine if there's a door to a world that sort of makes your life everything you could have imagined it to be. Be hard not to want that, right? You shouldn't. You're not supposed to, but right? Like, am I alone?
I think there's a difference between like wanting to go through it and wanting it to be in your closet. Because I'm like, I would be trying to fall asleep every night being like, I should go explore another of the 99 dimensions that exist in this void. Like that would keep me up at night. So I think just like the possibility of it and like the sliding doors principle of all of it would just stress me out way too much.
It would keep me up at night as well, except in the sense of like, who's going to come bursting through my closet at any
also
moment.
True.
I feel like I would check it out. I don't think I would be necessarily tempted to go live another life, but I'd be, you know, like, oh, we could explore. But also, like, if we're talking like the NMCU kind of multiverse where it's in my dreams, like, I don't think I want to go to where my dreams are. I have some really crazy, weird dreams, and I don't know. I don't think I want to go to those realities. I want to know what Aaron would do.
I don't know. Like it's very weird. I'm so steeped in multiverse storytelling that I'm just sitting there like something wrong with this earth. Everything can't be right about this earth. What's going on here? Like it seems almost like, oh, this is so nice, but what's going to happen inevitably, you know? And then Bruce Campbell's like, haha, surprise. I just don't know if you. I want to joke about him being like kind of a little bit like, man, you got seduced by that really quickly. But when you get handed everything, who's to say? I don't know what I'd do if like I went through a door and like mom, like Grandma Pop Marchman were still alive or whatever. I'd be like, what in the world? Like, wow, that'd be kind of hard to turn down. But also, it's like, well, I'm not their person. What if the Aaron there's a jerk?
I mean, only one dimension has the Peppermint Twins, so
that we know of.
Gertrude and Francine.
Which that whole bit was improvised, by the way. James revealed that on Threads during like the watch party.
Wow,
for episode 2.
That's great. Yeah. I think that Jenna, I said this when we talked, but Tim Meadows, Fleury saying that motherfucker looked like he caught all the Pokemon. I think people who pronounce Pokemon or Pokemans, everyone knows Pokemon is Pokemon. To me, if you do that on purpose, it's to try to set yourself apart and make people feel like they're less than you for knowing Pokemon. And that sums up Fleury. This guy was just trying to break boundaries and make John feel shitty the whole time. He's calling him Ginger Cool. He's giving him a back massage. He's like trying to hug him and eat his food and eat his snacks. Like, to me, Fleury is just a guy who's intentionally trying to overstep boundaries.
I just love that this line has uniquely struck a nerve with you, like to the point where you've had to go on this rant twice. Like you're so offended by the concept of calling it Pokemon.
My thing about that is that I don't think you're wrong, but I think to say that everyone knows that is absolutely not correct. Because the amount of times I see people say casted on the internet makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. Yes. Like if people don't even know how to say cast, how do they know about a made up thing like Pokemon? But I would like to say I think Ginger Cool is a much better nickname than Diebeard, and he should embrace it. So
Steve AG did say that people are already calling him that like multiple times a day. So I'm sure he's just taking that in stride.
Put some respect on the highest grossing media franchise of all time. Like people know about Pokemon. Like I didn't sit inside of my house and catch bad things on freaking Pokemon Go and become actually like back acclimated to walking against my will for people to call things the wrong names. But yeah, I don't know. Also, I feel so bad that already Ginger Cools. It hasn't even been that long. Goodness gracious. Step across the line habitually.
It's a cool nickname.
Fleury has nicknames for everybody, though. I mean, he's using Encino Man, Titties, like
oh my god, Titties got me so good.
Like when she's essentially dying because of the Eagly fight, and he's like, "You're gonna be okay, Titties." It's just like, bro.
No other human being could deliver that line the way that Tim Meadows does. Like he sells it so well. I also love it because James said that like in the script, they all are referred to by their nicknames after they get called their nicknames for the first time. Like they don't have proper character names anymore.
That's funny, man. Oh man. Well, all right. Anything else on the Peacemaker season 2, episode 2 front we want to talk about? Overall, seems we enjoyed it as pretty unanimously. All right. The season 2, episode 2 morning after pod with Sol Rodriguez is out there now. There'll be more clips from that with spoilers from future episodes that couldn't be in that podcast episode later on down the line. And Friday will be Augie Smith. Robert Patrick is this week's guest. So that's going to be fun. And the week after that, as I said at the beginning of this show, and I will lose sleep over, Frank Grillo, Rick Flag Sr. himself, will be the guest on episode 4. And then Jen Hollins the week after that. I haven't recorded that yet, but looks like we are locked in for that one as well. So thank you to everybody who's listened and everybody who's listened. By the way, the audio, Jenna and I are only on audio. That's not the video of that doesn't exist. Well, it does, but it's only available on audio. And I just haven't had a chance to edit social clips from that as I originally planned to, just because I've been all over the place. But this week I should be able to do some of that. All right. Any last words for today's show, Jenna?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics. I do not mean that in a touch grass kind of way, like Jamie said with their movies. And go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. I talked to Matt Fraction about his new relaunch of Batman, which is available today if you're listening to this. And that video has done really well. Like I'm very pleasantly surprised about that. So if you want to hear 20 minutes of just talking about Batman and the map of Gotham, go watch that. And then I'm literally working on a video about the Man of Tomorrow announcement and my video for tomorrow's Peacemaker episode. So please be subscribed. I'm very, very excited for y'all to see those videos.
Jamie Durack, what you got?
Yeah, go watch some movies, and I do mean it aggressively. Turn your phone off. Listen, I have no problem with you being on your phone if you're watching something at home. Like that's like I'm not controlling living rooms, but if you just like want to unwind and you're trying to think of a way to get rid of your phone, watch a foreign movie because you can't watch a foreign movie and be on your phone because you got to read some subtitles. So like unplug. I just watched Burning for the first time, the Korean film from 2016, and it's one of the best movies I've seen all year. So watch something that you might not normally watch and expand your horizons. Lido is doing some fun stuff. We're back at the end of the month with season 3 coverage for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think I mentioned this last week, but we do have an LA Comic-Con panel on September 27th at 3:30, I think. So you should come to that because it's going to be really fun.
Hell yeah. Aaron?
It's at Some Lake Hornet on all platforms, at How to Watch Free TV. We have a TikTok now. I have interview up with the showrunner and writer of Damascus over on Tubi. If you just want to hook more universes into your veins, you can just come on over there and hang out with us and listen to free movies and TV. Also, later today, I'm on the break room with the crew here at New Rock Stars, and we'll be talking about Superman and freaking pour one out for poor Laura Croft, who got overshadowed like no one's business earlier today. So yeah, you can look out for that.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Happy Wednesday, whatever day you're listening to us. Happy day to you. Please continue to listen to the Peacemaker pod. Please continue to subscribe to all 4 of our channels and support and like and all that kind of good stuff that helps us keep going and doing what we do. The first Friday of the month is this Friday. As you can probably tell, we have I personally just haven't been able to lock in a time to record a fan mail. The response to the first fan mail was really fun. So I think right now we might postpone the first fan mail of the month until maybe after Peacemaker, just because we're also releasing the audio episodes of the Peacemaker thing on Fridays. But we could also do like first Friday fan mail on a Monday or something. But I want to get it in that regularly and get Jamie and Aaron on there. So we're figuring that out. I just haven't had a chance to yet, but I wanted to address it because the audio downloads on that were pretty good, and I think people had a good time listening to it, and it was fun to do with Jenna. So I think the more we can do with that, the more it gives us a chance to just like talk about more stuff and answer your questions. But if you have questions for First Friday fan mail, when we get to it, you can email them to phaseheropod@gmail.com, and when we get to that, we will. We'll answer as many of those questions as we can. Play our show for your dad, play it for your cat, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next week. Bye.